Yeah, vote Labour and get the Tories out at the next election.
Goodness. Thank you very much. And then, what's up, people? So on this bright, beautiful, sunny day, I'm in Hyde Park in London, and I'm going to be asking the people about the cost of living crisis. How has the cost of living crisis impacted them on a day-to-day? What are some of the things that they're doing differently to be able to navigate themselves through the cost of living crisis? So it's going to be a very interesting video, so stay tuned. Now let's talk about the cost of living crisis. So how has that impacted your standard of living right now?
Well, a lot. I mean, at the initial of the year, I actually planned like a big holiday in November, going to Miami and do like going to Bahamas.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like a big trip. I had to cancel. Because in April, like my salary didn't change, and that's something that we were talking about. Like my salary is the same, but then council tax and water, electricity, all that stuff. Like at least £900 more than what it used to be before.
Yeah.
And if the salary is the same, like where should I have to get the money?
Sorry, is there anything that you're doing differently now in comparison to before the cost of living crisis started?
Yeah, like for example, going to the gym, right, and you have to pay on a monthly membership. So rather to do that, I would rather go and do like activities for free. There's like so many apps that allow people to, you know, have that social side to meet new people, but also like doing free activities. So I don't know, they do fitness classes in the park or stuff like that. Yeah. Those little things, yeah, okay, you cannot probably enjoy going to the gym, but you can still do something and save that money.
Yeah.
Well, I think everyone's feeling the pinch. I've been fortunate enough not to sort of feel it that squeeze, but you can see it. Everyone's getting in. Some people are really suffering, and I think it's tragic. I think it's tragic there's a lot of money being spent, like Boris Johnson, for instance, getting taxpayers' money to pay his legal fees when there's people sleeping homeless, sleeping on the streets homeless, and people can't afford to feed their families. You know, the money's going in the wrong places, I think. Don't get me started on this, I'm sure I'll be here all afternoon.
We're almost there. Is there anything like you're doing differently now in comparison to when the cost of living, like when the pandemic happened?
I'm being a bit cautious with my money. I mean, you have to shop around and stuff, but yeah, it's just everyday prices. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Have you changed like the sort of places you shop and that kind of thing?
I don't go out to eat as much as I used to. I don't go to the pub as much as I used to. Shopping wise, sometimes, but it's not been a massive change, but I've noticed the change in prices.
And then what about like for the viewers, do you have any tips for them, like what you reckon they can do also to navigate through this cost of living crisis?
Yeah, vote Labour and get the Tories out at the next election.
Goodness. Thank you very much.
Well, obviously with everything that's been happening, the problem is that all these financial institutions or federal banks or whatnot, central, however you want to call them, everybody decided to react to especially the pandemic to a certain way, which is, I feel in my personal view, which is why everything is so expensive right now. If we were to more encourage people instead of just giving free money just for them to stay at home or anything, it would be better off to either put that money towards some kind of trade or some kind of skill that would help the individual find some kind of job and being very less dependent on either government or assistance or whatnot, you know?
Like in your personal like circumstance or anything like that, is there anything that you've done differently to combat this economic climate that we're in?
Well, I mean, I'm paying a bit more attention to prices of certain things. At the same time, you got to understand that if people, again, you know, if you're given money for free, especially for free, and then you go around and spend it, it's not going to help the situation, especially if you're spending it on things that you don't really need per se, you know? Yeah. If you're going to give people free money, people are going to spend the money, which is not going to help the inflation, you know? Yeah. They're just going to go and recklessly spend the money instead of, I don't know, if you have debt, clear that shit, you know? Make sure that everything is clear on that side. But basically, it really is like, you know, just to make sure that you take care of your debt first. And then from that point on, you're able to build your savings. And then from then on, you're able to make your moves.
I think you think about it more, like when you're like grocery shopping, that's where I've seen the biggest increases. So when I'm where I would normally just be a bit more nonchalant, grabbing this, grabbing that, I'm kind of thinking about it a bit more.
Yeah.
But in terms of the impact, I think that'll probably be the main area.
Yeah.
I've always been relatively frugal.
Are you doing anything especially different now than before we got into this crisis?
Probably shopping a little more. Yeah, I'm using a little more, but even Lidl's the prices are going up. Yeah, Lidl supermarket, yeah. I used to go like Tesco, that'll be my go-to, but now I'm more like, okay, let's actually actively go to Lidl.
Yeah.
That'll probably be the biggest.
Yeah,
the biggest
I can see like, even Lidl.
Sorry, I'm packed lunch at work.
Yeah.
I've stopped going to Pret, like, no offense to Pret, I love Pret, but I've kind of tried to cut down on that, bring the packed lunch in.
Yeah, I love that, because you know what, that's one thing that I talk about on my channel a lot, you know, taking your own food to work and that sort of thing. You know, people, it makes a big difference that, you know, people don't really realize, but over time when it starts to add up, then you start to like really see.
I'd say like just everyday expenses like travel and food have gone up a lot, but fortunately I live at home, so not a lot. Like I contribute more, but it's not necessarily impacted me where like I can't afford to live.
Okay.
Fortunately, yeah.
That's really good. And when are you moving away from home?
Move it out when I have my deposit.
That's really good. Yeah, keep saving, keep saving. Also, is there anything that you do differently in comparison to before, like the cost of living crisis?
Shopping and like looking at the price of things.
Yeah.
Like I think when you live at home, like I think you get used to just like buying whatever you want. Like when I go shopping now, like I'm very like mindful. Like I could get it cheaper at Aldi, or like I go to certain supermarkets for certain foods.
Yeah.
Just because like there's no point spending more money on food if you can get it cheaper.
Yeah, that makes sense. I love that as well. Do you have any tips for my viewers on how to survive the cost of living crisis?
Get a second job if you have to. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Just work overtime, save as much as you can, and don't spend money on stupidness.
Also, now there's a big talk about the cost of living crisis and that sort of thing. How has that impacted like your standard of living? Has anything changed?
Not for me.
Yeah.
Because I was very lucky. A year ago, I made a contract with my energy company for 4 years and still pay the same amount of money as a year ago.
Yeah.
So the whole the energy crisis didn't have any effect on me. But I can understand for people who really, I have family who suddenly had to pay from 200 euros per month, had to pay 600 euros per month. And that's a big gap.
Yeah.
Yes, and then you have to pay
That's
that.
3 times,
That is 3 times more. And that is, of course, that is very difficult. And I hope this time will be over soon so that people go back to normal prices. Yes. Because the only thing what you do is we pay money to the people already rich. Yes.
Yeah. Because they're making all sorts of record profits and everything.
Yes, that's the benefit for them, not for us.
Apart from that, is there anything that you're doing differently to what you were doing before, like the pandemic, for example, like with your finances? Are you shopping in cheaper places or anything?
No.
Yeah.
Just having fun. Just having fun in life. And I have one slogan in life: I will learn until I die.
Yeah. Always keep on learning.
Always keep on learning. So perhaps I make a mistake now, but perhaps tomorrow I will learn from it. Or make the same mistake again. Fine, that happens. But it's as long as you have fun in life and just enjoy life as it is and see all the opportunities that you can learn.
Yeah.
That's really what I believe in.
Yeah, brilliant.
I'm actually currently based in Turkey.
Okay.
And it's crazy that the inflation is mad.
Yeah.
Because the average salary for like a local is below $500, but rent is like 1K.
Yeah.
I have no idea how people survive that. No, they're pissed off. Food, everything has become more expensive, so it's like you need to be smart about how. But I don't know, it's like the new reality, so you just have to, you can't really be moaning and you have to adapt. So it's like the project-based work, freelancing, figuring it out, maybe working for yourself.
Yeah.
Eventually it's hard, but it pays. Eventually it's gonna, you're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Not too much.
Yeah.
No, not too much at the moment.
Is there anything that you're doing differently now in comparison to what you're doing before the cost of living crisis?
Spending a lot more. Yeah. That's for sure.
So you're doing the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Spending a lot more. Oh no.
Not saving as much, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But you have plans to save a bit more in the future.
Of course, always.
Yeah, I mean everything is just so expensive. Like food is expensive, life is more expensive. Like you have less time to go out because you just have to, balance things out.
Yeah.
Like trying to save and trying to have a good time. Living in London is just like too much sometimes.
Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah. And then what about yourself? Has it changed anything for you?
I started walking more than cabs and
You're walking more.
walking more.
Yeah.
But if it's helpful to anyone, I did have an argument with EDF about them charging, and I won because in 2021 there was a court case about them charging people wrong. So I kind of used that and saying, can you please check the meters because I know they're faulty because you had this problem before. So I got my money back.
Been speaking to a lot of people today, and you know, some people are really going through it. And now that you're a homeowner and all of that kind of stuff, how has that impacted your standard of living?
I'm still at home with my
You're
parents.
still home, yeah. Oh, so that property is more like an investment property.
I rent it out.
Oh, I see.
So I
that's
don't live in it. I still live at home. Other than my mum's keep, nothing's gone up for me. Or petrol. That's it.
So when are you moving now?
I don't know. As long as I can last.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, keep saving all your money. I love it. Hey, it's Alex here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy the video, then make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. And also, why don't you check out this one next?